What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another beautiful day in Texas. Today's subject for episode 2, I'm kind of just skipping around a little bit. We're gonna talk about service dogs. Just a little information about service dogs. We're not gonna go on to it full on information on service dogs. We're just going to go over the basics. Okay, I've tried to take this video, but I keep going left field into rants because this is the subject that drives me nuts the most. And the reason why is people like to take advantage of this. But we're gonna try to do it without going to the left. Okay? Just saying. Now, that being said, what is the number one thing that you need to have a service dog? It's quite simple. A medical disability that requires a dog to help you with your daily routines. Also help you with your medical condition. Okay, so whatever your situation is, you'll have a doctor that's gonna say, we think you need a service dog to help you with said tasks, okay? Once you have that, you could get in a letter, you can get it in prescription. Now for the people that don't like doctors and want to do it yourself, you need to have some kind of proof that you have a medical condition that requires a service dog. Okay, the reason why is, let's say, and it's happened, okay? Let's say you're in a store, you walk past somebody, and your dog is walking at a perfect heel, but that person turns around and says, your dog bit me, okay? Or your dog touched me, and so on and so forth. Can they sue you? They can try. Hopefully, there's a camera that proves that the dog did not touch. Excuse me. However, if there isn't a camera, it's gonna come down to he said, she said. All right, marks, whatever the case may be, okay? If your dog touches somebody unasked, it doesn't matter. People will look for any reason to have a lawsuit, and they will target dogs, okay? So, let's say you have a medical disability that requires a service dog, you have proof, you go to court, the court system or the what's the word I'm looking? Plaintiff has your medical records subpoenaed. All right, now you need to have proof of said disability. If you do not have proof, then they're going to start questioning why your dog is in public working as a service dog if you don't have medical disability. It could turn into a really big mess. Okay. One of the things that I try to recommend clients to do, I can only tell them to do it for so many times, but it's up to them. All right. If you're training a working dog, treat it like it's a working dog. Keep training records, keep scenario tracking, keep distraction tracking. Like every police, military, working dog out there, private dogs, whatever the case may be, they keep record of everything their dog does every day. We did a search in this area, the sun was out, wind was blowing this much, there's dew on the ground. There's so many things to write depending on what the dog is doing. All right, keep track of these things, because if you go and you show that you've maintained your dog, you're doing proper training, it's just going to help you in a legal matter. Okay, is it required? No, but it helps a lot. Okay, because it just shows that you took the extra step to make sure your dog is above the bar. Okay, so some kind of proof that is showing that you have a disability that requires a service dog. Now the next thing is a touchy subject, okay? that we try to explain to people, and a lot of people understand and they're happy that we do this, okay? However, and I know a lot of training companies do as well. So you have a letter from a doctor or prescription, okay? We would ask the training company, if you came to us for training, we would ask for a letter saying, from a doctor saying, we think the person needs a service dog for XYZ reason. Okay, we don't want social security numbers, we don't want any really identifying thing. We really don't even want to have the medical reason. However, we kind of need to know what we're training a dog for, okay? Most people that will fight us on this don't really have a medical condition, and they say, well, you can't ask for proof that I need a service dog. That is for access to public areas and work, that type of work. We need to know what we're training the dog for. You could tell us, right? But we get people coming in that will tell us, oh, I need a psychiatric service dog, okay? And one of the other things are, we kind of want to pay attention to, okay, what are your triggers? What are this? What is that? And we'll start training people, and this is why this policy or this thing came into play. And we would put people in, not purposely, but like, for instance, we're working in a public store, we're working in a mall, we're working somewhere, and they say they don't do well with crowds, okay? So we will ask that thing, and sometimes it happens, all right? But what we want to pay attention to is we try not to put you in those scenarios, because not until you're ready to be in those scenarios. But however, sometimes it happens. You just can't avoid it. All right. So we want to be able to pay attention to make sure you're safe in our training programs and so on and so forth. And the dog is also should be cueing at those scenarios. Okay. If they do occur, we're not going to trigger them, but we want to try to avoid them, okay? As much as we can, especially in the beginning stages of training, okay? But the other reason why we ask for it is we want to make sure that the dog that we're actually training is a real service dog, and the person really needs the dog, not for fake service dogs to be able to take your dog anywhere, okay? So, a lot of training companies are requesting some kind of proof for that type of training, okay? It can be just a letter from a doctor, whatever the case may be. Because at the end of the day, when we sign off on the dog saying the dog is ready, we are telling you and the public, so say something is to occur, they could subpoena us to come to court, and they're gonna be like, well, you signed off on this dog. You said the dog was ready. Okay, and if it's not a real service dog, that's going to look bad on us as well. So, got to remember those. Do you have to supply it to us? No. And if you don't want to supply it, then you find another training company. All right, but a lot of training companies are asking for some kind of proof of medical disability. Okay, so. Now, speaking of training, let's talk about this. Do you need to go through a professional trainer for service dog work? No, you could train your own dog. You just have to make sure that your dog is trained in obedience, your dog has the proper temperament, and your dog is trained in task, okay? If you can do all that, you have your own service dog. All right, there's no registry, there's no paying for documents or anything. You have a service dog. All right, that's it. All right, if you could do those things on your own, okay, do it on your own. Because I will tell you this, if you could do it on your own, you will become a really good service dog handler, because you're going to pay attention. You put so much time and work into this dog, all right, to get it ready, that you're not going to want your work to be wasted. Simple. Okay. Now, do you have to Do you have to use one if you know what you're doing? No, you can send your dog off to a professional trainer as well. Just make sure that that trainer knows the training and the dog's temperament, and let the trainer do what it needs to do, or they need to do, not it, excuse me, to make sure that you and your dog will be set up for success, so on and so forth. Now, I'm a firm believer, you could go board and train, you could do private lessons, you could do, there's so many options when it comes to training a dog, all right? If time is an issue for you, board and train is the way to go, okay? If stressing is part of your issue, right, then board and train would be the way to go. However, there is requirements, okay? You need to be able to work and learn how to work your dog in public. So if you do a board and train, make sure the trainer trains you and maintains and helps you make sure that you have a clear understanding what the dog's supposed to do, so on and so forth, okay? So you can go private lessons. Private lessons is my favorite. If I can get dogs in for private lessons, not every medical task can be done in private lessons, but if they can be, private lessons is where it's at. The reason why is you're gonna learn with a trainer, professional trainer, step-by-step process of getting a dog from block 1 to block 2, or end block, however many blocks it requires, okay? That's going to be very beneficial, because if, say, something happens, your dog has an off day or something like that and it's not working properly, or just whatever the case may be, you're going to be able to go back, think about, okay, let's try this, all right? You're going to be able to take action faster than you would be able to if you didn't do a board and train, or if you did a board and train because you missed those crucial steps. However, board and trains are beneficial for people that don't do well under pressure, and there's pluses and minuses for each one, okay? So group classes and service dog work, not a good idea. They're good if you have like private lessons or board and train and group classes, because group classes are going to help you work your dog through distractions and so on and so forth, okay? We had a lady go through another training company, contact us. They did everything, like I think they did private lessons or board and training first, and then they put the dog in a group class. Well, some things you have to pay attention to in a group class is the other dogs, okay? The lady said that she came in, sorry about the plane, had her dog on leash. Everybody had their dogs on leash, and there was an aggressive dog there, and the owner wasn't paying attention. The dog got off or pulled the leash out of the hand. I don't know if the leash was on or off, whatever the case may be, and beeline for her dog and attacked it, basically had to go to the doggy ER, so on and so forth, and now the dog doesn't work properly, all right? Doesn't want to go on public. It's terrified. I wouldn't blame it. It got attacked by another dog, okay? So there are things that you need to pay attention to when you're doing group classes. Watch the other dogs that are in the group class. Make sure, and your dogs are learning behaviors from those dogs as well. Same as dog parks, okay? Another subject, another day, okay? Preferably a day it's a little warmer. We'll do a dog park video. Figure out which way you want to go with training. Okay. Something else, we do it here. I've seen companies do it. Other companies do it. Something to look for are group classes or maintenance classes or some kind of classes that are made for service work or service dogs. Okay. We have one. It's basically called the Service Dog Club, is what we call it. You pay a monthly membership and you have access to classes and you'll be in there with dogs that are all service. So you won't run into aggressive dogs. These dogs will be able to be worked. You're gonna have access to trainers to help you through things. Those things are great for dogs that are already done with training and keeping them up to par. if you are a trainer watching this video, I would recommend setting up those classes. They're a great way to help the service dog community keep their dogs on point. And you don't have to use just your dogs, all right? We have our doors open. They just get evaluated to make sure that they're, up to par, all right? We let people that have self-trained service dogs, okay? They just want to get that socialization, keep their dogs socialized. So when they're out in public, their dogs are not being reactive or barking at other dogs, okay? Simple. So look for classes like that. Now, let's see, we went over training, okay. Now, most trainers are going to give you a letter or something saying your dog is trained as a service dog, okay. Is it required by the government? No. That is for most of the training companies to track and to let you know that your dog is ready to be out in public. So that is not if it says registration or certification or whatever the case may be, it is a certification that you did in the class itself. It's good for, like, we have a certification, you get a number, we give lifetime training support, excuse me, all right, to track your dog and help you with your dog and so on and so forth. Excuse me a second. Sorry about that. So, but going online, looking up these things, scams and stuff like that, don't pay money for that. If you go through a training company, you're good to go. If you do training on yourself, you're good to go. All right, there is no registration. That being said, if you read the ADA, in the ADA, it does state that each state may make their own registration. So, Texas, the wonderful state that I'm in, is cracking down on fake service dogs. They just passed a law in September saying that if you get caught faking a service dog, it's, I think, $1,000 fine and 30 hours of community service. All right. If they're going to pass something like that, I'm pretty sure that sometime down the road you're going to start seeing a registry pop up. All right. For service dogs, it could be something they're working on. I don't know. So make sure you check your state laws. All right. Make sure you're doing what they require you to do. Some states might have a registry out there. I don't know. I'm in Texas. So make sure you do the right thing. Okay. Now, the number one thing that most people do not know about service dogs, and people do forget. I need something. I'll be right back. This wonderful thing right here is medical equipment. Okay? A service dog is medical equipment. Once you start using it as a service dog, it is classified medical equipment. What is the benefits of medical equipment? One, you can write it off on taxes. So food, training, vet records, all that stuff, you can write it off at the end of the year or however you do your taxes. Okay? Two, it's treated like medical equipment. Okay? A lot of people think service dogs are a privilege. all right? It depends on how you look at it. It's a privilege to be able to go out and live a normal life with a service dog, correct? But some people, like I was saying before, just want to have a dog out in public with them because it's cool, okay? So, it's not, okay? I have yet to see people walking around with crutches, the little scooter things, wheelchair, so on and so forth, as being a privilege. Okay, this is the mindset that you need to keep in mind when you have a service dog. And this is where I gotta really watch I don't go left field, okay? So, that being said, treat the dog like medical equipment. If you're out in public, all right, don't go let people just walk up to your dog and pet your dog, okay? Don't go let your dog just go run around, okay? If you're in Walmart, in the store, okay, and you come across a friend or whatever the case may be, and you want your dog to, go say hi to them, get out of the store, okay? Take the trigger off. Now, you don't need a trigger, but we call them triggers. We use a vest, a harness, a collar, whatever, telling the dog that we are working, okay? Take that off and let the dog know that it is not working, to be able to be pet on, okay? It's quite simple. Just get the dog out of the work environment. More to come on that subject there, okay? But we'll leave it there. I know people are gonna get, but if I want somebody to go pet my dog, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. You watch and see. All right. Can you let somebody pet your dog? You could. I don't know why you would. All right, the dog is there working, not there to go say hi to other people. That is why the dog is in public with you, is the dog is working to perform a task. Simple. That simple. Okay? So, remember that service dogs are medical equipment. It's no longer your best friend. It's no longer your pal, companion, okay? When it is working, it is a medical equipment. Simple. That simple. We tell people when they're doing service dogs at their house, if the dog is working, don't let your friends, family, kids touch the dog. The dog is there working with you. Same if you're the mother or dad and your son or daughter is training a service dog, don't go interfere with the training, okay? That dog needs to listen to its handler and its handler only. The other thing when it comes to service dogs, why you shouldn't let people touch and pet your dog. You have this thing's gonna become a dog. I used it in the last video as a dog. We're just gonna do it again, okay? So this is my service dog, right? Obviously it'll be on the ground, but however, all right, if I'm doing this, and if the dog's smelling me, saying, doing its job, good boy, all right? I'm rewarding the dog. If I'm a complete stranger and your dog comes up to me and I'm doing this, you're now telling the dog that it is okay to sniff me and ignore your handler. So they're retraining your dog to smell them and not you. That's why it's very crucial to not pet somebody else's dog, service dog. Okay? People may disagree with this, all right? Somebody who comes from a background of training dogs in the military to find landmines and learning how scent works and understanding how to read the environment and do all that, because we're looking for something that you physically cannot see unless erosion or something else comes up, or you can see a little pressure plate or tilt rod or whatever the case may be, right? So there's so many things that come into play when teaching a dog service work, especially when it comes to alerting, okay? Well, people say, well, if it's a mobility dog, you can go see. No. If that dog is in your hand and that dog's your mobility and it pulls to go say hi to somebody, it's going to pull you over, okay? we're going left field. It's very important not to let other people touch your dogs. You may disagree with me. You have every right to disagree with me. But that is why the dogs that United Canine trains never really has issues, is because we have set down a standard for our company and our service dogs, and we treat them as working dogs. It drives people's nuts, okay? We don't have dogs walking around all flashy, tie-dyed goggles and booties and tutus and whatever, all right? We just have a dog out there. People are like, well, we don't want little kids poking their eyes. No kid should be touching your dog. That's simple, all right? Here's my thing. This is the way I would, like, I'm waiting for the day this to happen to me. If I'm walking with a service dog and somebody reaches down and starts petting my dog and they ruin my training in the dog, I'm gonna sue them. I'm not a sue-happy person. But if they ruin the time and money, you don't understand the amount of time and money. If you self-trained your dog, look at other dogs that are trained in your category, right? Diabetic alert dogs, $15,000, $20,000, all right? PTSD dogs, look at, what the heck's that nonprofit's name? Patriot Paws. I think they charge, like they collect donations for each dog for around $32,000 for one PTSD dog, all right? That's a lot of money wrapped up in one dog. Why would you want somebody to ruin that dog if you got it for free or you did the training yourself? Why? Why? It's simple. Don't let people touch your dog. 2, you don't know where those people have been. They could be around sick dogs. They could have, dogs that have a viral disease and they touch your dog and pass it on. You don't know. I'm stretching there, but you don't know. Okay? There's people that walk around and throw treats over fences that have been, tampered with poison or, whatever. You don't know what somebody's gonna do to your service dog. So why let people touch them? We're gonna leave it there with that because I can keep going. But hopefully here soon, I have ordered a board and we're gonna do an actual, kind of like a class talking about service dogs and scent training, kind of mixture there, and having a clear understanding how scent works. I think that's a really good thing to do, and I'm gonna do a class. So, that being said, other than that, that's pretty much the fundamentals of owning a service dog. So, until next time, I will see you guys again. Next video, not sure what we're gonna do, but I'm gonna film it here probably in the next 5-10 minutes, so I might look the same. I don't know, we'll see. But until next time, guys, I will see you soon. Bye-bye.